Hey everyone, how's it going? New year, new batch of live giveaways. The first one of 2025. Um, we're all, I think, on the opposite side of the freeze of 2025. We'll talk about that a little bit. But welcome to the show. By coincidence, we're again double booked with a Speckled Truth Heavy Hitters broadcast, which is probably going to affect our viewership a little bit, but that's okay. People can watch after the fact. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on the crew. So we got Adam Carey and Captain Evan down in Pensacola area. How you guys doing? Good to see you.
Yep. Good to see everybody.
I haven't been salty since New Year's Day, so I'm struggling.
What's that again?
I said I haven't been salty since New Year's Day, but I'm ready.
Yeah, well, I haven't been out too much myself either. I went Sunday, and it was a pretty good day, but all my buddies seem to be going out and smacking them down, which kills me. But
oh, really? I've not. I've been out a couple times. It's been more fishing than catching, although I haven't been out during the best tides and whatnot. But it's been certainly bait is outperforming artificials by a pretty big margin.
Is that right? The brackish water bite's been good, but it's mostly redfish, and it's pretty much all redfish.
Yeah, same, all redfish.
And when you either don't, it's feast or famine. You either don't find them or they're stacked in a little tight ball, and you'll catch 30 of them in one spot. If you don't find that spot, it's a long day.
Yeah,
but
I know I was out on Friday with Michael actually, and we definitely saw a trout. I know I marked them. I know that's what they were, but couldn't get them to bite anything. It's frustrating.
I'm going to be interesting to see if how much they show up. No, still muted. There you are.
Can you hear me now?
Yep, gotcha.
Adam, you were marking those fish. Was there bait? Were they on bait balls?
No, I mean they were down. It was in like 10 to 12 feet, and they were down around 8 or 9 feet.
Yeah. Well, same thing. We've not been catching much redfish, a little bit here and there, but trout almost non-existent. But coming out of a creek from the ferry dock, my neighbor and I, this was that same Friday you were out, Adam, with Glenn. We marked a ton of bait. I mean, and then, well, first of all, I saw 2 dolphins, and I just had to stop because I was like, what are they feeding on? And big, huge bait ball. And then all of a sudden we started seeing these, I don't know what they were, but they were about a 2-inch minnow looking thing all over the surface. And you could see the fish down underneath them, but you couldn't get them to eat because they were so full. But I've never seen that much bait this time of the year in a creek, but they had fish all over them. You couldn't get them to bite.
That's a good sign though, right? Having that bait come back for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like when I went Sunday that I think a lot of the redfish were on the flats to survive the extreme cold, just as a matter of survival. And they definitely seem to have split up, and they're not as much on the flats anymore. From what I've observed. Before you came on, Carrie, I told those guys I caught a trout about that big.
Oh, did you?
Yeah. So I was like, hey, good job, buddy. You made it through the cold. You survived. So
that's great, because it was about this time of the year, Adam. Remember when we started catching in the intercoastal? We started catching those like 7-inch trout.
Yeah, that's
this time of the year last year.
Yeah, those are like last year's
Bobby Garland. Crappie jigs. So that's a good bait to catch.
Yeah, I was using a little tiny little jerk shad. Name escaped me right now, but what was
the 3.5-inch one they just
the streaks. Yeah, thank you.
You know what? That's on Friday we found them we found a few redfish, and they weren't big. They were like lowers, like I don't know, 14 to 16-inch redfish. They were all, like you said, Dave, in like a really tight grouping off a dock. And I tried like 5 different, profiles and soft plastics before I finally, the Streak Z was the only thing I could find to get them to bite. Michael had a mud minnows that they were biting pretty readily, but any of the plastics I threw, nothing until I threw that Streak Z.
It sounds like it matches what Carrie was seeing.
Yeah, that Streak Z though, this time of the year, it's got those little 4 little paddles on the end or 6 or whatever that is. And if you're doing almost like a dead stick, and the Z-Man product is coming up and waving, it's just waving those little tentacles around, and they're just going to pick it up, especially if you keep some, some stink on it.
Yeah. I've heard of a few nice trout being caught though. We had an entry, a release over 20 entry from from Goose Creek. John Archibald entered one like 21, and I saw a kayak angler report, I think out of the Wando, had a bunch of like 18, 19. So, they're around. These are all post reads too, so that's good.
All right, good.
Yep.
Pam and I we went out last Friday. We went and gathered some oysters, and then after seeing Adam and Glenn catching sheep's head with dead shrimp, I just bought a box of dead shrimp, and we went out, and after we got done getting our oysters, and we just caught some sheep's head like that. But on the way out, there was a bald eagle eating a fish. I mean, it looked like it must have been a trout up on a pole.
Oh, really?
Pam took a picture of it, and then we enlarged it. You could tell it was a fish. You couldn't tell what it was, but I'm assuming it was probably something that died in the kill, whatever little bit we had.
Very possible.
Yeah.
So on our presentation here is a few announcements. One is I know we shared this online, but I just wanted to point out our total releases for last year was 7,374, which is very close to being 2x what it was in 2023, which is really strong. We had almost 3,000 trout, a little over 4,000 spot tails. And in just like a couple months we had striper, we had 112 striper releases, which was nice. I thought that was pretty great result. It's good to see those continuing to get stronger.
Hey, Dave, what state are those stripers coming from for the most part? Not to interrupt, but
they're coming from more northern states, Virginia and above, primarily. We've got one guide up in New Jersey who entered a good number of those, and some of them were over 50 inches. Yeah, just absolute giants. In fact, it was Scotty Sevens. He was a guest on the show a while back. I wanted to point out, so I've been excited about this organization tracking chart, and I got talking to the VP of the Charleston chapter. So Southstrong now has local chapters, almost like fishing clubs. And a friend of mine, Ed Goodman, is the VP of the Charleston chapter. And I did speak at the Charleston chapter. It was like mid summer of last year. And he met with the club when they met and got, I guess, started talking to the leadership of Southstrong as an organization. And we've got already 5 of the local chapters signed on to start tracking their catches, including just someone made one for just Southstrong as an overall. So we have just like Southstrong members, but you can also have the local chapter tag. So really excited, they've got a giant following. So the more we can get those people like on board competing with each other, maybe they're competing chapter versus chapter. I think it's only going to be good, just to get more and more people just practicing at least over 20. So kudos to Southstrong. Friends with the guys, the founders of it. They're all great guys. So let's see. I didn't see this comment from Jimmy before, but yeah, Jimmy caught a 17 down at Edisto. That's pretty awesome. Look good to hear it. Yeah, Zachary, let's get your North Carolina chapter going. I'd love to see all of them there eventually. That'd be great. I wanted to point this out and talk about this a little bit. So you probably saw this on our socials. This is something that we've been wanting to do for a while. And a while back, there was a guy, I think in Louisiana, who was like, why should I sign on to release over 20? Like, what are you doing with our data? Are you using it, just being, not accusing, but just, wondering how we're using it. And my reply was, I'll tell you how we're using it. Everything's publicly available, and it's the truth. You can go on our website, and if you dig around, you can find like all the information. And I had to do a talk at a local expo here, and it finally motivated me to go dig into our database and just start trying to get some insights out of the data, out of the entries. And if you followed us for a while, I think the first year we only had trout entries. Second year, mostly only trout entries. And as we've been going, we've been adding more and more species. But we really have the most data for trout. So I took 4 solid years of trout and started like crunching the numbers. And this is a chart that I've shown before, but it's updated. I think it's fascinating because look how perfect it looks. It's just like a perfect, normal curve, like truncated because we only started 20 inches, but these are directly from entries. It's not like prediction or anything like that, but it shows you how rare like a 30-inch trout is, or even any given size, where if you have, one thing that we post all the time is that, if you have a 4-year-old trout here in South Carolina, a 20-inch trout is 4 years. If you start with 1,000 at year 0, you only have 8 at 20 inches. Well, that's where our chart starts, 8 out of 1,000. But then you look at, compared to that, how rare is a 30 inch? There's only 46 entries, or 30 to 31 inches. So overall, there's probably like maybe 60 out of 20,000 entries that we've had of that size fish. So it's just kind of interesting. And I'm going to roll out more of these data insights over the next several weeks. In fact, I think Ashley posted one tonight, and that was about, you have to go look at it, but it's a chart that Adam has been asking for forever.
I saw it. Look good.
Yeah.
Finally.
So Adam, it had to be a year ago, right? You said, can we do a chart of like how many trout are caught per month per state? And I was like, well, I can't make the website do that automatically. I'll have to go manually do it, and haven't done it until now. But the insights from that, I think, are fascinating because we just showed the first one tonight for Virginia, and it clearly shows that like November, December is like prime time in Virginia, just by far the most entries from that time frame. However, and I'm not going to give it away, but when you change the latitude, and probably it's more than latitude, it's probably more has to do with seasonal temperatures, the results change dramatically. And I think it's going to be a neat discussion. But I just wanted to show this one at first because we'd already published it. So Corey's in the house. Hey, Corey, number 1 all-time angler. And yeah, man, dude, I hate what you all went through up there in Virginia. I did reach out to a few people up there. Maybe Corey, you can give some insight on this, but the consensus I heard was that it could have been worse. Not that it wasn't bad, but it could have been worse. So I'm interested to hear what you had to say. So here's an exciting update. So Hook clothing, everyone knows Hook gear. If you're a fisherman at all, you've seen their products everywhere, literally. They started, I think, in 2014. And if you're into the industry, you notice that they kind of came out of nowhere. And like within 2 or 3 years, they were just like one of the dominant apparel companies in the fishing industry. They're headquartered here in Charleston, and I got to know one of their people there, Brent Browner. He does a lot of their videography for their social media and stuff. But we got to talking, and I approached him and I said, Carrie has always wanted to give away branded apparel, like our Release Over 20 stuff with our giveaways. And we've had it for sale. We haven't had enough we couldn't really afford it. And we also didn't have enough to give it away. So I asked if maybe they'd be willing to donate us some merch so that we could do that. And they 100% were on board. So what you see here is like a hooded solar shirt. So we're going to have hats, hooded solar shirts, and short sleeve solar shirts. Here you see the Hook branding. They're going to be very lightly branded. They'll have like a small Hook logo on the side. But basically, they're going to be blank on the front and back. And we'll have them printed with our logo on it. And we'll come up with a cool design. But once we get that done, we're going to start folding them into every giveaway is going to have branded apparel in it. And they donated this to us at no charge. So we should get that stuff in roughly a week, I'm told. And then once we need to find a vendor to do the printing. But isn't that awesome?
That's fantastic, man.
It's so good. So great. I'm very, very excited. And I've seen the stuff. I went to their facility and they kind of showed the stuff so I could, take a look at it. And it's really nice quality. So,
David Hook's been on board with us for the last, when we got that kayak, 3 years ago, in April, I got to meet one of the reps from Hook, and they started sending us hats, and they've been really generous to us. So this is really great.
Yep. And we did get, I think, 5 more hats for our giveaways as well. Some real nice quality ones. So yeah. So very excited. Thank you, Hook. Thanks, Brent. Thanks, Prescott.
They donated a gift certificate for one of our in-person events 2 years ago, and we had an auction for it, and I won it, and so I bought a bunch of their I got a bunch of their stuff from it, and I have to say, quality-wise, it's all top notch for sure. I have a bunch of I have 2 or 3 different jackets, and some gloves and a gaiter, and I think a shirt. But anyway, and some shoes. All of it has been quality-wise very good. It's obviously not the cheapest, but it definitely is still a pretty good value for the money, in my opinion.
Yep, absolutely. Announcement. So we are going to have a second annual Hopedale, Louisiana Pure Flats / Release Over 20 Speckled Trout Tournament. It's all going to be 100% catch and release through Fishing Chaos. And the date is Saturday, April 12th. If you're within range of that area, come on out and support it. Really just going to have a good time, get some guys together. I'm going to be there. Going to, just have camaraderie, talk about Release Over 20, catch and release fish, and just have a good time. So we'll have a little setup there at Hopedale Marina. I think I heard one of the owners of the marina is going to have like some jambalaya or something out there for us, and but we'll have more details. Looking forward to that.
David, are you going to try to go to that?
Yeah, I already got tickets.
Oh, do you?
Already made flights. So you guys interested in going?
I would love to, but I'm actually going to be en route to Sorry. En route to Bull Shoals, Arkansas for annual smallmouth bass fishing with buddies.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
That's all right. Yeah. But yeah, if you're interested in going, I don't know, Adam, if you are, but you can.
Yeah, let's. I'll hit you offline and see
Yeah, hit me up offline and we'll figure it out.
whatever you booked already.
Okay.
That's
good.
the day of the full moon in April. I'm
Is
gonna
it?
be on. I'm gonna be on the beachfront, man. Sorry.
Oh, come on, Captain Evan. Pensacola to Hopedale. It's not that far, right?
Oh
Right.
man, y'all might see me out there looking at sandbars trying to find a big one.
That's actually my birthday, April 12th.
Yeah,
Is it?
there you go.
Yeah.
All the more reason.
Huh?
I said all the more reason.
Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you're going to have a good time doing your thing as well.
Yep.
Okay, so moving on to the January results. We had 193 trout, 506 spot tails, 24 striper, 7 flounder, and 5 sheep's head. No doubt the trout took a hit from the cold weather. Everyone lost a good solid week, at least a week and a half, 2 weeks. And hopefully they're going to bounce back. But I think the numbers this year are definitely going to be down. It's just a good opportunity to say that if you really care about your trout fishery, and probably trout are most affected than much more than other species, but if you really care about the trout and you want them to rebound fast, think long and hard about releasing 100% of your trout in 2025. We did that here in 2018 when we had a big freeze in South Carolina. Our DNR kind of just encouraged everyone to do that, just release in 2018. We made some decals. It was like hashtag release 2018 SC. And people rallied around it. I mean, I don't know anyone that kept any trout in that year. And when you look at the results of our DNRs, like travel net surveys, it dropped, but it didn't drop that much, and it rebounded super fast. Corollary to that was the freeze of 2021 in Texas, where by law they shut the fishery down for a year, and they're already, early 2025 are having a great year for trout, and it's because I'm sure it's because people showed some restraint and released all their fish. Doing the right thing by just releasing more fish always makes sense, because going into a freeze, you're going to have more fish to start with, so that a fish kill isn't going to have as big an impact as well. So it just makes the importance of release over 20 all the more important when you have a fish kill. We thought about doing decals, more of these like a release 2025, like Virginia, for example. And we still could do that. We don't have much room in our budget to do so, but I'm sure we could get like Speckled Truth to partner with us if y'all think that would make sense. We'd like to hear from y'all in Virginia to see if that's something that people would be into. But what we did last time is we printed the decals ourselves and distributed them ourselves, like literally at the request of people who wanted them. Probably what we would do in that case is reach out to some fishing tackle shops in Virginia and just send them, 100 or 200 at a time, and then tell people to go to that shop. And I think that'd be a good way to support the tackle shops that are probably suffering from the freeze as well. But we'll think on that. No commitments at this point, but let us know what you think. We had a North Carolina and South Carolina sweep of the guides. We had Jimmy Skinner with 40, Chris Osman with 24, and Joe Tunstall, Carolina Traditions. I don't know if he's South Carolina or North Carolina. I think maybe North Carolina. But But again, our Carolina guides are killing it. We've had several more guides sign up in January, which I'm pretty stoked about. And I think Evan, one of them was your guy, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's my buddy, Captain Sean Lincecum. There's a couple other guys I reached out to that hope to be coming on board too, but he sent me the confirmation a couple of days ago. He is fired up. He's small wave charters, so he does a mix of everything. But if anybody's out there and is interested in fly fishing inshore, mixed bag inshore fly fishing, he's got a really cool skiff and he's good at it. He's passionate about it. He's dedicated to the resource. So I will say, if anybody's out there that's looking to come to the Panhandle and get in on a fly fishing trip, he's a great guy to do it with. He's a 20-plus year military veteran, and he came down here and moved to Paradise and started his operation. He's living his best life. I'm super happy for him.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
This month, Stephen Fluke reached out to me. When I went fishing with Stephen, he's a local guide here. We caught a bunch, and I entered his fish for him. I think that stoked the fire. He was already signed up for the program, but he wasn't really participating. And he said, I'm going to enter all my fish this month. He goes, I'm coming after Jimmy Skinner. So, Jimmy, if you're listening, you got some competition. So we'll see where it goes. I don't know if I want to pick that fight myself, but okay, so the overall top 10, we had Caleb with 214 fish entered. He was just on a roll. I think he reached out and said he was really excited to start participating. So he definitely did. It's on, Steven. It's on. That's funny. Steven and Jimmy are both first-class guys. Let's see. We got Brian Ford, local guy that fishes my area that I usually fish. He's been out there on the regular. Robert Montana, he's always at the top of the boards. I'm happy because I'm a couple above Don. That always makes me happy, and a couple above Daryl too. Just kidding, guys. Virginia dunked on the rest of the world as per normal in the wintertime. If you look at that chart on our social tonight, you'll see why. South Carolina holding its own. And it took 5 to make the top 9. So it's good to see some entries from Georgia. Okay, speckled trout, Danny Nowak with 48 in January. That's pretty strong. I don't know where Danny's from. I'm guessing maybe a southern state, Texas maybe. If you look at the heavy hitters results for January, it was like almost all Texas. They're having a great year. I have not caught a single trout over 20 this year so far. Not even close. Okay, red drum, Caleb. He was mostly entering red drum, as you can see, 205. I had 19. Daryl had 8. So it took 5 to make the top 10 with Jimmy fishing out for himself there. And let's see, striper, we had Robert Montana with 19. So Robert is a Virginian, pretty sure. And then a bunch of ones after that. And then we had 3 entries, 3 people entering for flounder. Interesting. That's interesting to me because flounder spawn this time of year offshore, like in deep water. So I'm interested where they came from. I know Ethan's down in Mississippi, so that would explain that. Then we had 3 people entering Sheep's Head. Dan McDaniel with 2, and then Marcus with 1. So
most of them are offshore this time of year too, right?
Yeah, they are. But they're usually, like, at least here in Charleston, they're in range of a small boat. So you get a good weather window. You can go, 10 miles offshore and really get on them. But, they're out there spawning. So you don't want to beat on them too bad. But just you need to know what they're doing out there, Okay, so turn it over to Carrie to talk about our giveaways.
Adam, before we talk about this, can you maybe speak a little bit about what we raised at the Hadrill's event?
Oh yeah, sure. We for those that don't know, we Hadrill's is a local bait and tackle shop that's been here in the Charleston area for I don't know, quite a long time. And anyway, every year they have a local expo just for 2 days with some speakers and a bunch of booths of merchandise that they sell. So they always donate. They always give us space at the show. So this year, in addition to merchandise, we took some of our higher end sponsor gear, and Dave made a nice prize pack that we raffled off, and we raised about $1,600 from the 2-day show. So it was great.
It was a nice little package too. It had a cashin rod with a toadfish reel. We had a leather lanyard with the fishing pliers. Had tail and ties. I think it was the spot tail tie, redfish tie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had a really nice kayak tackle box that went. I'm leaving out something. We had shirt and a hat. David, from who?
We had drum spots, cards, and a shirt.
And cards. Anyway, really, really good giveaway. And ironically enough, when the little girl pulled the name out of the hat, it was Chris Little with Dead Calm Outdoors, and I was able to give that to him on Saturday. He dropped by the house and got him all of his giveaway stuff, and it was really pretty cool because he actually gave us a $400 donation about 3 months ago. I know this sounds like it's all rigged up, but I promise you, that little girl just reached in there and grabbed his name. I was shocked.
Well, we did it live.
Yeah.
It wasn't rigged.
Right. No, you can go back and look. It's on our.
We flipped that thing upside down and shook it all around and made her dig around in there.
But anyway, I'm just really, really glad that he won because he's such a big supporter of Least Over 20. And he told me he never wins anything. So anyway, this is the captain's giveaway. It's going to be the first one. We've got an Epoch battery mouse pad, got Eye Strike Release Over 20 3/16 3-pack, Coastal Swim Baits sticker, AFTCO koozie, Drum Spots hat, and Pure Flats baits.
And that's a infamous peanut topwater.
Mm-hmm.
The deadly trout lure.
Those are good.
Yes, sir. So, okay, let me pull up so we have 54 entries in the guide category, and I always only include the guide categories that have the client listed. If they don't, I put them in the main draw, so that's why maybe the numbers don't line up. Just for full transparency. And okay, so third roll will be our winner. First roll is 10, 18, and the winner is 8. And that is Chris Osman from South Carolina. Captain Chris, he was many times our monthly winner. He's been a huge participant, so congrats to Chris. And we're going to go back to the giveaways and show giveaway A.
All right, so giveaway A is a Marshwear sun mask and sticker, Pure Flats baits, AFTCO key float, AFTCO sticker, Slap-a-Fish decal, Z-Man jerk shrimp and fried chicken, and Drum Spots blue tea.
All right, I'll be right there. Trying to get my stuff together here. Okay, so we have 681 entries in the main draw. We're going to have 3 giveaways out of this batch. First one is 512, 194. The winner is 602. I don't have to go far for that. That is Travis Harrison from North Carolina. Congrats to Travis. He had a 28-inch trout.
Wow. Big
Nice.
one.
Real nice one. And head back here and show giveaway B.
All right. Giveaway B is the drum spots, playing cards, Grand Strand soft water decal, Mirror Lure 36 MR, drum spots gray beanie, coastal swim baits, Arctic ice, large purple ice pack. We got to be running out of those by now too, by the way.
We're getting
And
low.
coastal swim bait sticker.
Yep, another good giveaway. And choose that one. Third roll will be the winner. 255, 189. The winner is 339. 339. 339. Caleb Tomberlin from Virginia with a 26-inch red drum. Okay. Congrats, Caleb.
All right, this is giveaway C. And here's where, see, we got that release over 20. It's going to be so nice to be able to give a release over 20 t-shirt out every single giveaway. Anyway, thanks, Hook. Release over 20 gray t-shirts, a large Mirror Lure marshmallow soft plastic, Pure Flats soft plastic baits, Pure Flats decal, Carolina First Mate Incognito mosquito spray, which, by the way, the gnats are starting to come back out again. Drum spots playing card, drum spots medium t-shirt in military heather.
All right. Okay, first roll 669, 398. The winner is 326. That's Tanner Martinier from Alabama. Congrats, Tanner. Using a Caleb sandwich right there.
Yeah, I know that's something.
If we got Caleb again, I probably apologize to Caleb. I probably would have rolled again.
I will say briefly, man, Tanner's over there on Mobile Bay and all those estuaries, and he's doing great work over there, catching fish and promoting the right message. I don't see him very often, but I've followed what he's been doing for a number of years now. He's dedicated, and he's doing great work over there.
That's awesome. Love to reward people like that, you know. One thing I forgot to mention was when Chris Osman won, it was for his client Ryan James. So Ryan James is going to be the one to get the gift pack, and then of course Chris is in the competition to be a monthly winner. But I'll reach out to Chris and get Ryan's information. And Jimmy always with the good sportsmanship. So, all right. Well, that kind of wraps us up. I'm going to reach out to the winners. We had a few different states represented. We actually had 4 states represented, which is cool. And hopefully these trout are going to move back in, and we'll get a lot more trout entered in February. I hope to catch a few. And yeah, so thank y'all for participating, and we'll talk soon. All right.
Sounds good, guys. See y'all.
All right. Everyone have a good night.
Bye.
Bye.